Yo, we're back with another Alkaline podcast, the Monday Meander, brought to you by Charlie, fucking hell, brought to you by Charlie Fleming. Yeah, he's the unknown, unofficial sponsor, and today he's wondering...
What happened to Del Monte?
What did happen to Del Monte? I'm not really wondering that. We're having another Monday Meander. Dude, breaking news... actually, no, I've got a few more of these. I've been making really out of context sound bites. Not entirely sure why, but who was the director of the film Jaws?
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, it was Steven Spielberg, who brought dinosaurs back to the masses, made dinosaurs popular again.
Steven Spielberg.
That's right, it was Steven Spielberg. What's my favorite flavor of crisps?
Steven Spielberg?
No, it's not, mate. It's not. It's Flaming Hot Monster Munch. Anyway, there's been breaking news in Brighton. You may not know this, but there is a cat murderer on the loose. Did you know that? There's a fucking cat murderer on the loose. There's some scary shit, dude. I've been seeing posters about this up around my streets. Up around these streets, man. I live in the north of Brighton. All over the place, mate. These posters up that say there's a man going around stabbing cats, which is a bit like that Johnny Cash song, isn't it? Do you know? No, it's not. It's just like someone going around. I always thought it was like an urban legend because I heard about someone in Croydon. Someone in Croydon was sort of setting. I heard that somewhere that someone in Croydon was just setting fire to cats, and I always thought, like, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? Is that just Croydon? Or, you know what I mean? It doesn't sound real, does it? Like, who's going to fucking stab a cat? Why? What have you got? I'm not really a fucking cat person. I'm not really an animal person. Do you know what I mean? But I ain't fucking drowning llamas. Do you know what I mean? I ain't fucking... Do you know what I mean? I'm not out there fucking killing whales and shit. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking... Who is stabbing cats? And cats are quite hard to catch. I think these are ill cats, mate. So basically what's happened is the Argus, which is Brighton's local paper... has been talking about this fucking cat murderer. Now, if you don't know the Argus has some fucking ridiculous headlines. For example, Kitten chokes on mouse. Do you know what I mean? That's front page news. Look. Poodle holds clue to deaths. That's a good one. The mystery of restaurants exploding tea towels. That's another good one. Balls of fat found on the beach, but they're just talking about your mum. Oh, just your mum, mate. Oh, little Miss Muffet, who sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her, and he said, "What's in the bowl, bitch?" Some classic fucking Andrew Dice Clay for you there, mate. What is a tuffet? Sat on a tuffet. I always assumed it was a hollowed out log. I don't know why. A tuffet. She sat on a tuffet, mate, eating just curds and whey, which I believe is like the stuff you skim off milk to make cream. Do you know what I mean? It's not done yet, little Miss Moffat. Do you know what I mean? Why are you eating that? I don't know much about nursery rhymes. I just think that she has to wait a bit longer. She has to choose a nice, comfortable chair. And she has to not take advice from a spider. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, in the actual one, the spider doesn't say that to her. She just runs away. So fair enough. I don't like spiders either, Miss Moffat. That's one thing me and you can relate on. But in the Argus, anyway, I won't name who it is because it's still ongoing. But basically, someone's been going around stabbing up cats, mate, which is fucking crazy, isn't it? It's a crazy thing to happen. And somebody I know. All of a sudden, the Argus, do you know what I mean? The Argus, who are releasing fucking headlines like that, just fucking plaster these pictures up saying, wanted in connection with the fucking Brighton cat murders, sorry. Like, prime suspect, last person to see the cat alive. And it's pictures of my mate. It's just put pictures of my mate up. Do you know what I mean? It's all over the internet. People are sharing it. People are sending them threats, being like, "Oh, we're gonna find this fucking guy." Do you know what I mean? People are like making fun of him and shit, and it's just mental. It's absolutely crazy. And he just did nothing wrong. He was just walking down the street, stroked a cat. Do you know what I mean? Just stroked a fucking cat, and then 20 seconds later, Someone stabbed that cat. The guy behind him. According to he went to go and see the police. According to what they said, like literally the guy behind him was the cat murderer. Like, and that must have happened. That must have happened in murders all the time. Like, could you imagine like being in the fucking 18th century, 19th century, end of 19th century, Industrial Revolution? People have just discovered how to wind up cars and fucking drive them about. Do you know what I mean? Fucking vaudeville and shit. And then you're walking down the street, all of a sudden, like, it's misty and that, all of a sudden, you read the fucking Argus the next day, and it's like, kitten chokes to death, and then all of a sudden, it's like fucking, Jack the Ripper's done this murder, and you're like, I was in that fucking alleyway, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. But the thing is, newspapers can fucking ruin people's lives. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. Have you noticed that the police have started doing this? Like, because the police have got on all social media and they're trying to clickbait pictures of criminals. Like, they'll put someone up with some like crazy fucking face tattoos, or they'll put someone up who's got like who's a bit like boss-eyed, or they'll put someone up who looks kind of ridiculous, and they'll be like, we need to find this guy in connection with someone who fucking shoplifted some Mars bars. Do you know what I mean? Up in like Manchester, and then there'll be like a million comments being like, fucking hell, does he need another Mars bar, the fat bastard, that sort of thing. And you're like, where's this? It's sort of like fucking one of those kangaroo courts, you know what I mean? Like, what happened to being innocent until proven guilty? You know, they're just looking for the guy, and everyone's already decided, look at that guy, he must have fucking did it. Do you know what I mean? And everyone was fucking, do you know what I mean? Everyone went fucking crazy, like trying to, and there's a guy on there, and I don't know if you're going to listen to a podcast, you live in Brighton, I live in Brighton, you're called Christopher fucking Holcoop. Yeah, but anyway, he was just like, do you know what I mean? We got his comment was like, we got his picture now, so you know what I mean? He's got some beatings coming to him. And we're like, what the fuck, mate? Do you know what I mean? You're above your name on Facebook, it says top fan. You're a top fan of the Argus, mate. I don't think you've ever left your house. Who are you going to fucking beat up, mate? Well, you're not going to, because we've got a fucking, do you know what I mean? We know a cat murderer. And it could be people next, Christopher Holcoop. It could be you. Could be fucking you. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Turns out, yeah, it's a good thing now, because, you know, any information that my friend can give about that dude behind him is going to help fucking, and then the next day they pop up that they've arrested a guy. They've arrested a guy aged 52 years old in connection with the cat murderers. Now, hopefully my friend has got a good part in that. He's a bloody hero, mate. He's a fucking hero. It's like a low rent fucking superhero villain who is stabbing cats. Apparently, he only went for ill cats because, you know, cats fucking can get away. Like, it's just fucked up. It's just fucked up. And it starts with cat. Normally, you hear stories of, like, how serial killers start. They start by fucking, like, torturing insects or whatever, or doing, like, weird shit when they're, like, a kid. And then they go up to kill people. This guy is a 52-year-old man. Like, who hurt you? What's going on? Did you get made redundant by fucking some animal sanctuary? They've let you go. And you're like, well, you know what I mean? I used to help sick cats, but now I'm going to fucking stab them. It's absolutely crazy. I don't really understand why you're doing it, but I didn't even believe the story. Like, because I've been seeing these posters for fucking months. I didn't believe that there was actually somebody going out doing cat murders. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was at school, right? And you know how these rumors start when you're at school, and they're completely unfounded. Like, there was a kid at my school who had a dog called Snowy, right? A little white dog. We'd never seen the dog, but he just said he had a dog called Snowy. And then someone started a rumor that he used to fuck his dog. Like, and that was in like year 7. That's like the start of school. And then for the rest of his school career, I don't know why people say that, because you don't get fucking paid, mate. But the rest of your school career, I suppose I'm doing stand-up comedy, and sometimes people who are at my level call that a career, my comedy career. You're like, all right, mate. Do you know what I mean? My comedy paper round. But for the rest of its fucking school life, people are like just shouting Snowy at this guy, saying that he fucks his dog. He doesn't fuck his dog. I could have fucked him up for life. Do you know what I mean? I never said it to him. To be honest, I wasn't a bully when I was at school. Do you know what I mean? But like, do you know what I mean? All he did was have a dog called Snowy, and now all of a sudden he fucks his dog called Snowy. It's just mental, huh? And that lasted with him for like the whole 5-year school career that he had. It's just like, it's unfounded, unsubstantiated thing, and that's what I thought these cat murderers was. I thought that that someone just believed there was a cat murderer. I'm thinking about like maybe it was like a fox. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of urban foxes around. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean foxes that rap. DJ Fox, MC Fox. Do you know what I mean? It's just some urbanized foxes. Do you know what I mean? Just kicking around in their gangs. They eating stuff out of the fucking bins. I saw a seagull earlier on running off with a little pouch of tobacco. Do you know what I mean? Seagulls have started smoking now. Do you know what I mean? We're urbanizing the animals, urbanizing the animal kingdom. And I was walking through Kemp Town that's an area, it's quite a nice area of Brighton, over by the seafront. And I walked past this really, really happy Buddhist sort of monk dressed guy. I don't know if he really was a Buddhist monk. He might just like an orange tunic, but he was really happy. He was walking these 3 dogs. Do you know what I mean? And you just don't know who you know, because he was really happy and he went past me and I was like, "You all right, mate?" And he was like, "Yeah, just really happy guy, but I don't know." 2 seconds later, could have stabbed all those dogs, mate. You could have. You just don't know who you're walking past in the street. I could have walked past the cat murderer. I wouldn't have stroked a cat because I'm not a cat person. I'm not a dog person. Whenever like you've got your like what I remember like when my kids were like younger, you walk through the park, with your kids. And then someone's dog will bound up to them. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know, put their paws on them, jump on them a little bit, and they're going to be like, "Oh, all right, it's fine. He's fine. He doesn't bite." And I'm always like, "Well, he doesn't bite until he does bite my child. And what are we going to do then? I can't fight a dog. I could try and fight a dog. My dad once fought a dog. We used to have a dog called Gizmo. I used to live in Northern Ireland. We had this dog called Gizmo. We got him from the animal sanctuary, and they brought him home, and he had a few little nips at my brother and that, right? But then one day I came down for breakfast, and I was sat we had a breakfast bar, do you know what I mean? But one of them high stools, and I was sat there. Anyway, I was eating my Jordan's Country Crisp. All right, do you know that? It's like oats and sultanas and stuff. Anyway, I got down off the high stool, and I think I was probably about 11, and then I went for a piss. And when I came back, and Gizmo is on the counter, and he's eating the cereal. And you got to be stern with your pets. So I said, "Get down." I said, "Oi, get down off the side." And he went for me, mate. He just started attacking me, trying to bite my face. And I put my arm across my neck, like just completely natural, like just like instinctually put my arm across, like I was. Like, you know what, like, so, like, you know, so I had like a chin for an elbow, it's an elbow for a chin. So my arm was like across me like that. He couldn't get to my neck, but I had this bruise going from like maybe where my temple is all the way down to like where my chin is. Just a big bruise on the side of my face that just came up immediately. Dog was like going mental. I'm screaming. And my dad, he's a pretty big guy, man. He was in the RAF regiment for like 26 years. Pretty tough dude. Anyway, we had them stairs that like you go down the stairs and turn a corner, and then the stairs come back on themselves. He fucking jumped from like the top banister all the way down, and he kicked the fuck out of that dog, mate. That dog was going nuts. And he fucking booted it into the fucking living room, slammed the fucking door, and then I went off to the army fucking health center, and they gave me like this course of antibiotics. But apparently the dog was just raving, like just caning it about the living room all day, just smashing vases and stuff. My stepmom was in the house all day. She couldn't go in there at all day. She was just like, "Oh my God," apparently the dog was just kicking off loads, and they gave me this course of antibiotics. But I was bruised, mate. I just got savaged by this dog called Gizmo, and that's why I still get I get triggered by gremlins now. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the name of that little mogwai. Do you know what, Gizmo? I used to really like gremlins, but you know what I mean? Now, fuck that shit. But anyway, Gizmo's fucking going mental. I had these antibiotics, but they came in them little capsules, and little sort of leathery capsules, like one half's green and one half's black. But anyway, I didn't really know what I was doing when I took them, and I bit the capsule, and it was the worst tasting thing that I had ever had, and it was disgusting. But somehow still managed to make it to school that day. We were going on a school trip to go to Aladdin, like the pantomime of Aladdin, and I had like Mr. Wishy Washy or Mrs. Wishy Washy, the washerwoman, and her little washerwoman friends. And this will tell you what kind of time it was. They were all Teletubbies. Do you know what I mean? That's when Teletubbies were big. We've actually got there's a comic who lives in Brighton called Dave Thompson. You might have seen him before. He's a really good comedian. I think he was Tinky Winky in the Teletubbies. Do you know the one with the handbag? I'm not saying he's gay, but do you know the one with the handbag, the one with the sort of erect purple, just sort of appendage. I'm not calling it a penis, and I'm not saying he was gay. All right, I'm not saying Tinky Winky was gay, but I mean that's pretty far. I mean, none of the tweenies came out. Do you know what I mean? None of the tweenies came out. What's that, Lazy Town? Do you know what I mean? None of them. None of them were brave enough to come out. But Tinky Winky, mate, he would walk around with that handbag, with that not a penis. Not no, it's purple. It looks a bit like it could be sort of a fake penis, but no, I'm not saying it's a penis. What I'm saying is sticking out to his. I'm not saying anything about Tinky Winky. Do you know what I'm saying? He's brave for just being who he is. Maybe he's the first metrosexual. I don't know if people use that term anymore. Sounds cool though, doesn't it? Metrosexual. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like someone who has a fetish for being on the tube or something. Hang on. What? I got told off for drinking tea on the podcast, but the problem is I always make tea when I come in, and I've got my tea sat there, and I fucking proper slurp it. So just then I had to move the mic away because we'll find out whether Steve, my producer, the guy who produces this, he'll probably send me a message having a go at me, and he was like, not only did you slurp the tea on the podcast, you also then spoke about it for like 5 minutes. So I'll just stop talking about that now. Like I'm not really a cat person or a pet person really. Like I used to live at the guy who produced. I used to live at his my mate Steve's house, and he used to have this cat called Floyd. And at the time, I didn't have a job, so they would go out to their jobs during the day, and I was living in their house, so I would just be hanging out with this cat, and we kind of developed this sort of like weird relationship, non-sexual relationship with this cat, right? And like it was like a sort of prisoner respect. Do you know what I mean? Like we weren't like mates, but you know, I would let him out at the right times, and you know what I mean. And we sort of had this respect for each other. So you know what I mean. I'm not a dickhead. I'm not going to go out and stab a cat, but I'll warm to your pet, and you know I'll do all the things you have to do to keep a pet alive. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to swoon over your cat. Do you know what I mean? The same way as I wouldn't swoon over like a prisoner, like a murderer or someone in prison. Do you know what I mean? But I'd be like, I'll acknowledge that you're a person. I didn't acknowledge that the cat was a person because the cat is a cat. I'd acknowledge it. I'd be like, you are a cat. Do you know what I mean? It's you're just doing what you do, and I'll just do what I do. And then when you need food and that, don't eat mine, but I'll get you yours. Do you know what I mean? That sort of back and forth. Like, I respect the sea. I mean, I love like fish, but I don't want to be in them. When I went on holiday once, I can't remember exactly where I was, but there was a swimming pool, and it was like a proper like man-made swimming pool, but it was in this like sort of the walls above, like, you know, it was in sort of a cave. But it was like a artificial, like, it's supposed to look like all tropical and that, palm trees and that. I think it's kind of like a centre park, but I don't think it was a centre park, right? But then there was this little tunnel that you could swim into, and it went into this underwater aquarium. So there was loads of fish in there, but they were behind glass, but under the water in the swimming pool. So it looked like you were swimming around with fish. But anyway, I didn't know that was there, and I sort of accidentally swam into that bit, and I fucking absolutely shit myself because fish do freak me out, but I do love the sea. I'm glad that fish are there. Whales are I know where they're not fish. Whales are the people, aren't they? I mean, mammals. Whales are people of the sea. Do you know what I mean? They have live babies, and do you know what I mean? Eat cornflakes and that sort of thing. Have blowholes, and you know, my blowhole needs a lot of maintenance. So I don't know how whales maintain the blowholes really without any sort of arms. You can sort of flap your flippers back as much as you want, but I mean, it's going to be difficult to actually get in. It must be really fucking annoying. The same way as a Tyrannosaurus Rex could never scratch its eye. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I sort of I respect animals, but I don't particularly like them. That's what I'm trying to say. And I don't defend myself so much because I'm not the cat murderer. But I want to hope this fucking guy's caught because it's a crazy thing to do. It's absolutely insane. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's what's been happening this week. This is the Alkaline podcast. My name is Riggs. This is a podcast where I attempt to get clean or die trying. And to be honest, September, we had a bit of a fucking relapse. Do you know what I mean? I've reset the timer on sober time. We're doing it again. We're going from the start. Like, I won't go into too much detail about why, but you know, I've probably mentioned this a couple of times, but I've got a couple of kids, and they don't live with me, unfortunately. But I had them for like 3 weeks in the summer holidays, and it was the best time, one of the best times I've ever had. It's so nice to have them down, especially for a really long time like that, because then everything becomes normal, and I always try and make it normal when my kids are here, because I want it to be like this is their house as well. So I don't want every day to be a fucking party. Do you know what I mean? I want it to just be like sometimes we can just chill out, sometimes we can have our own space. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it was like, and it was really, really good. And the last couple of days, you always feel this like little bit of like sadness creeping in. You're like, oh, it's coming, it's in the post. I don't know if any of you guys have a bit of like sort of depression and that, but you can feel it sort of welling up, building up. Do you know what I mean? It's coming, it's fucking coming, mate. And then when I took them back, it's awful. It was awful. So like, I sort of had, that the night I took them back, I had a couple of beers then, and I was like, shit, it's starting, and it creeps back up, man. And this is how I know that I do have a problem with drinking, because like I could feel it, and my brain, something switched off in my brain, and I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it. And I didn't go. I'm not talking about fucking 3 bottles of vodka down by the beach in a fucking brown paper bag. I'm not talking about that, mate. I'm just talking about, do you know what I mean? Just letting yourself go a bit too much. And it's not good, and it makes people around you upset, especially when they know that you can't control it, and you start acting like a bit of a dickhead when you're pissed, like you do, like because you become like a selfish person, like because it starts becoming like, oh, I'll do whatever just because you start drinking with people that you don't really get on with and stuff like that. And I don't know if anyone's listening. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like, you just do things because it can end up, you have some fucking beers and stuff. And luckily, it didn't affect any of my my comedy sets, because as if you listen to any of the previous podcasts that I've done this month, it was pretty important month of gigs, month of comedy for me, because I did that Red Raw tour, and I did that competition, and even though I didn't get through, but there's always the wild card. But but now I'm like, I've done that now, and it was very selfish of me to do that, because I'm not a very rich person. I'm quite poor, and sometimes I don't drive or anything. Sometimes I've got to go. I go up to London quite a lot because I live in Brighton. Brighton's a bit of a bubble sometimes when it comes to comedy. So sometimes I get the train up to London, which is that's like £13, £15, sometimes even £16. Depends where you need to go. Travel card's like £16.25, I think. So if you go up there, even if you and you know how much it costs to drink now in pubs, it's absolutely mental. Like sometimes when you go up north, you can get drunk on like 15 quid. Do you know what I mean? That's like, because a pint's like 3 quid. I mean, it's probably starting to change now. Depends if you go to Weatherspoons or not. But like, so say like, you go up to London, you've paid 15 quid already. If you have like 3 pints, maybe 4 pints, so and that's not hard at a comedy gig. So you get to the gig, you have a pint. They normally split into 3 sections, don't they? So you've got the first few acts in one section, because it's an open mic. Do you know what I mean? When you get to pro gigs, they'll have one break, but you do like maybe like 5 acts as a break, and you'd be like, it's natural to get a beer then. And as soon as I have that one beer, it's all over me. Like I will drink more. Get to that first break, have another beer. That's a tenner. Sometimes it's a bit more. Sometimes it's 12 quid that already, and you're only a third of the way through the comedy night. You do another bit, and then there's a break before the headline or act or whatever. You have another pint. Then that's 3 pints, and then if you hang out at the end, that's another fucking pint. That's 20 quid. On top of the fucking 15 quid, it's too fucking much. Do you know what I mean? And I'd rather do comedy, because otherwise I won't be able to afford to fucking even go there. I'm like, oh, that drinking is the whole nother train trip up to London. Do you know what I mean? So it's just so I've reset the timer is what I'm trying to say. Like the other, like as I say, like it's a weird thing, isn't it? Because it's like it became like more constant. I'm talking like maybe 3 nights of the week, in the month of September, 3 nights of the week, but not loads and loads and loads, not loads and loads, mate. I'm talking like 2, 3 pints, sometimes 4, but it all adds up, and it's too much. It upsets the people around me. It makes me a less trustworthy, more selfish, and less reliable person. And I can feel it. Like there's a couple of people on the Brighton comedy scene who have also who are also trying to quit drinking. And there's a guy called Dan Fardell, and he's doing really really well, and he's also a fucking great comedian. He's been going for much longer than me, and he's a good person to look up to on the scene because he's fucking great. And he's come through adversity, and you know what I mean. He's doing really well. I think he's on. I spoke to him the other night. He's on 5 months, and I remember I went down to the Secret Comedy Club, and where we did the gig, and it was a really fucking good gig, by the way. I didn't drink before I went on, but then you get a free beer afterwards for doing it. You don't have to have a beer. You can have a Coke bar. Of course, I was gonna get a fucking beer, but then I saw that Dan was on the lineup, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to drink in front of this guy who thinks I've quit, and because he's quit, he's gonna notice it. Whereas most of my friends, I mean, it's not their fault. They're just trying to live their lives. Most of my friends will just whatever. They just be like, oh, he's obviously back drinking again now, so they just won't say anything. And it's not their job to say something. But he sort of, I got my beer, and I did feel bad about doing it in front of him. And you know what I mean. And I know it's my life, and it's got nothing to do. If he is listening to this, or Dan, you're listening to this, it's got nothing to do with. Do you know what I mean? You're living your life, I'm living my life. But it was actually good in a way because I projected how I felt about it onto him. Sorry, I'm just speaking directly to him now. Onto him, and I was like, oh no, I felt like I was doing something wrong, and that's good. And then he spoke to me about it. He was like, oh, you might drink it again now, and I made some fucking bullshit excuses about how I'm just like easing my way back in, having a couple of pints here and there. Do you know what I mean? And of course, like, he doesn't know me that well, so he's gonna be like, oh well, you know best. It's your fucking life. And I talked to him about it the next day, and he was like, oh, you didn't think I was judging you or anything. And I was like, no, it's good because I want, not a lot of people are like that, especially when you're struggling with stuff like that. And I was like, it's real nice to have a friend who would be like, no, you're not. You're like, oh, what you doing, sort of thing, and it's good. And but I'm doing it now. So I've got my app, and we're back on. Do you remember? Like, I don't know if you've listened to any of the ones before September, but so at the moment on 2.22 days, I've my next goal is called Staying Strong, and that's 3 days, and that's the end of today. At the end of the day, I've got my third little badge. Do you know what I mean? 2.22 days, but I'm doing it now, right? So it's just it just snowballs, and I don't want it to, and I lose control, and then I let myself lose control of it, which is I'm not saying it wasn't fun what I was doing. It was fun, and it was cool to hang out with people. It's cool to get drunk with people, and everyone's really silly, and you can have a laugh, and you can make fun of people for being out as a fucking cat murderer. Do you know what I mean? But it's dangerous. It's dangerous for me. It might not be dangerous for you, and I fucking fully commend you if you can go out, have a half a pint. And thighs, my girlfriend thighs, she can go out, she can have a half a pint, and that'll be enough for her. She'll be like, oh, don't need another pint, I don't half a pint. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. So I'm doing it again now. I'm going fucking sober. I am. I've got an app. Do you know what I mean? So one of the things I'm doing is every day I send her a screenshot, and I won't lie. Like I didn't lie any of the time during September either, because you can reset it, and it does a little graph for you, and it tells you where you reset it, and it tells you how many days you went before the next reset. And I've got like fucking 4 of them in just like in the space of a week and a half. I've had a lot. Actually, think what is, it's dangerous because I had a lot of fun this month. I had a lot of fun, but at the cost of people who care about me, because they know that because they know that I struggle with it, and I can't control, and I have not much self control, and I've got an addictive personality, and you can have fun, but at what cost? But I'm not. It's not. It's not a depressing thing. It's just like I need to try harder at it. Like, I don't feel really bad with myself for having relapse like that, as long as it doesn't become a thing. Like, it doesn't, like, I'm aware of it. My brain was more than happy to make that switch, mate, and it's easy. It's easy to just turn off, and I don't want to turn off. I want to have full control over what I do, and I don't want to. I don't want to like lose. I don't want to like lose myself, if you know what I mean. But I don't want it to be sad. It's not a sad thing. It's a good thing. It's like, you got to find out the flaws in what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? You find your flaws. You learn from your mistakes. It's a good thing, really. I mean, it's not a good thing that I did it. I mean, I wish I had just stayed strong throughout. But it's highlighted for me that it is a ongoing struggle, and if you do let yourself slip, it's so easy to get sucked back into it. I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let people down that I really like, so I'm fucking doing it again. I did 3 months. 3 months nothing. And then a couple of weeks of just fucking a couple of weeks of back on the sauce, mate. On the sauce. It's back on there. It's hard to make it funny, this. Do you know what I mean? I'm just telling you. That's the whole point of this, why I started doing this podcast. I don't want to. So, like, even if I'm the only person who fucking listens to this, you know what I mean? I don't want to fucking lie. This is an ongoing struggle. I haven't got time for meetings, mate. This is my meeting. And I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun times, but I also proved during that 3 months that I could do it without it. Do you know what I mean? I got opportunities. I took opportunities. I had great fucking comedy gigs. I was there for my family more. I had more fucking money. I had just loads of. It was just fine. I managed to sort of stave off any fucking sort of really real bad sort of depression. I mean, it still happened, and you have to find a way of dealing with this shit properly in real life, without just fucking turning your back on it and just being like, oh, just have these fucking drinks, because it does make you feel better. It does make you feel better, like over the time that you're drinking. And then, to be honest, I don't know if anyone agrees with this, but I actually really enjoy being hungover. Do you know what I mean? I become really silly. I start becoming in this silly mood. I do quite a lot of. I used to, and I won't do it now, obviously. But like, I used to do quite a lot of comedy writing when I was hungover, because I still have that lack of inhibition, like when I'm hungover. But I can do that without drinking, and it's probably be better. But then after I've stopped being hungover, it's like that inhibition fucking goes away. And then it's like yesterday, I had this fucking just mammoth depression. I had a little cry on the train. Do you know what I mean? The train guard came, and I had all these fucking tears in my eyes. It's because but it just comes on, doesn't it? Like, depression's fucking stupid, because you just it's just for no. It feels like seemingly for no reason. But obviously there is a reason, because it's like a chemical thing. Especially with drinking, it's a chemical thing. Like, you've abused this part of your mind. Do you know what I mean? It has to be replaced. It has to be replenished. All that energy's got to come from fucking somewhere. Is this pseudoscience? I don't know. I don't know, but one of the problems with doing this podcast is it was all fun and games when I was talking about cat murderers, but now I'm getting all serious about this, and it's hard to fucking bring it back round. But anyway, I'm gonna do it. I want to do it again. So we're gonna fucking start again. I'm on 2.22 days. Gonna start leaving what I used to do, leave my bank card. I'm gonna start leaving my bank card at home. Do you know what I mean? Just go out, just fucking all the stuff that I said on the first couple of episodes. I'm just gonna start it again. I mean, I know last time it was started. Last time it had started to affect my my comedy sets and stuff like that. But this time it was fine. This time it didn't do that because I didn't drink loads before doing it. It's just afterwards. Do you know what I mean? And I'm out all the fucking. I can't. I gig almost every fucking day. You can't drink for. You can't do that every day. You'll fucking burn out. You'll die. And I don't want to do that. I want to be able to keep doing it as much as I am. I want to be able to do sets every fucking night. And not fucking just fucking slam myself into the fucking ground. Like do a fucking nosedive when it all becomes too much. I project a lot of what I feel onto other people. I think there's comedy bookers out there who won't book me because I'm a liability. That might not even be true. But I'll probably. It's not fun to talk about this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fucking do it, and then on the next episodes we can have a fucking laugh about it. We can talk about it. So I'm always going to talk about this a little bit at the end because that's what this podcast is about. It's about fucking being like, stop being a fucking knob, sort your fucking self out. This is what we're doing. So yeah, my friend is not a cat murderer. Christopher Holcoop, if you're fucking listening, mate, you're not going to fucking find him and beat him, are you? You're a top fan of the Argus. You've never left your house. Do you know what I mean? Always commenting on the Argus. It's keyboard warrior. Got a bit deep and serious at the end. Anyway, it's been the Alkaline podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm going to call it there. It's 37 minutes. I told you I'd do a shorter one about drinking, and we did it. I did say I'll do it the next day. It's not the next day. It's a week later, but fine, we did it. My name's Riggs. Let's get clean or die trying.